Hi guys, Trebor7 here, back with another video for you. And I'm going to kind of deviate from the norm. Typically all my videos are about psychic abilities, and in a roundabout way I guess this one is too. But this is more of a follow-up to the PK diet video I did, where I recommended that people switch more to a raw vegan diet if they're trying to learn psychokinesis. And I've had a lot of good feedback, not only for the PK benefits, but for the health benefits. People are feeling great, looking good, and I've also had some negative feedback from those who are going through the dreaded detox phase. But that's just part of it. When we start eating, good quality whole foods, there's going to be some detoxification going on, and we just have to suffer through that. A lot of people say, "Oh, I tried the vegan diet. Doesn't work for me. I was sicker than a dog." Well, that's part of it. You just kind of have to suffer through that. But in the long run, it's the best thing you could do. And on that topic, when we're eating all this good food and everything, we have to consume a good quality beverage. And of course, high quality water is going to be our primary source of hydration. But water gets old. So I started searching around for something I could recommend to everyone. And I've tried, black tea, white tea, green tea, herbal tea. I've tried, all kinds of different things. And nothing compares to yerba mate. Now, technically, yerba mate is not a tea, it's an herb that grows in South America, like southern Brazil, Argentina, Uruguay, down in that area. And typically, it's drank hot and it's made in a gourd. In fact, the mate, I think, means the gourd, and the yerba means the leaf. But what they did, I'll try to keep this brief, they'd fill the gourd like 2/3 of the way full, tip it over, shake it up, flip it back over, and scoot the herb to one half of the gourd, fill it with water, dummy water, which dummy water is just room temperature water. Let that soak for a little bit, fill it with hot water, and then let that steep in and brew inside the cup itself. And then they would use a long metal straw with a filter on the end called a bombilla, and they drink it out of that. And then as it if it runs out, you just add more hot water and just kind of keep brewing it and drinking it as you go. And that's all fine and good. That's the way it's been done for thousands of years, and that's wonderful. But I don't like hot drinks, and I'm not going to sit there and fiddle with something all day. I want something I can just make a nice big batch of it and just drink and go. So I've kind of Americanized how to make yerba mate, and I'm going to show you a little tutorial on the way that I do it. But if you want to find out how to really do it and a lot more information about it, there's a great channel here on YouTube called Circle of Drink, and that's Dave Mate, and it's all about yerba mate. It's a great channel, man. Check him out. Circle of Drink. Salute, Dave, if you happen to be watching this. But the main thing you want to do is get you a good quality yerba mate. So what I've done is I put together a little Amazon store. There'll be a link down there below, highlighting all the ones that I've tried and liked. And I've kind of placed them in order of preference. But what I recommend to starting out with, especially if you're going to try to brew it the way that I'm doing it, is to start with a loose leaf brand like this Inato. Doesn't have hardly any stems and no powder, so it works really well for making large pitchers of yerba mate. You won't end up with a lot of stuff floating around in there. And then another brand that I like is from Robert Kazar, and I think his website is earthshiftproducts.com. It's like 12 bucks for a pound of his, and it has more of the stems and the powder and the leaf, which traditionally that's the way yerba mate is used. But it has a little bit stronger taste, kind of a little bit more bitter, but I also think it has a little more profound effect. But to ease into it, I would start with this, not necessarily that brand, but any loose leaf yerba mate, organic, unsmoked. That's the main thing. Make sure it's organic and unsmoked. And to make it properly, what you're going to need is a gallon jug, preferably like maybe a glass container, and an infuser, which is, these are available on Amazon. This is a nice medium-sized one, stainless steel mesh. You just fill one half of it with yerba mate, close it up, use it like a tea bag, and that works great. That's barely enough to make a pitcher. It'll be kind of mild. And another one I found, which I like this one way better, the bigger one that has a really fine mesh. And this works better for the ones that have the powder in it. You won't end up with a bunch of junk in your tea if you use this one. And I fill this one about 2/3 of the way full, and by the time you soak it in dummy water, it's almost completely full, which is what you want. And it works great. A nice pitcher of yerba mate. And you have to get the temperature about 170 degrees. You don't want to use scalding hot, boiling water. So if you're fortunate enough to have one of these little laser temperature doodads, you can just take the kettle off of the burner and open it up and test the water that way. Or if you're just winging it, like I do most of the time, you can just take the lid off of the teapot and watch, and when the little small bubbles start to form on the bottom and start to rise up, that's about 170 degrees, and that's the key thing. You want to get it 170 degrees. You want to soak it in the dummy water first so you don't scald the herb, and you want to let it seep for 5 to 10 minutes. I do 7 minutes straight up, and that works great for me. So it's a little bit like alchemy. You know, the little details matter, the timing, the temperature, and the amount you use. But it's basically simple to make. It's easy as making a pitcher of tea. It's affordable. It's accessible to everyone. I mean, you can buy it everywhere. It's only grown in a few places, but you know, you can order it on Amazon and have it in your door in a couple days. So it's great, man. If you haven't ever drank yerba mate, you're missing out. Get your herb on, guys. It's delicious. It's refreshing. It's so beneficial, so packed full of, you know, minerals and nutrients and antioxidants and everything that is physically you're just going to feel better. There's a scare tactic out there, as with anything like the colloidal silver. When you research that, first thing you'll see is the blue man. Oh, drink colloidal silver, you'll turn blue, which is total nonsense, you know. It's just fear porn to steer you off track. But this stuff is really good, and when you go to researching it, you might find a couple articles that say it causes cancer. That's bogus, dude. There's some real clinical research. I think it was in 2012, Illinois University tested colon cancer cells against yerba mate, and yerba mate just wiped it out. You know, so this stuff's really good. It's super good for you, and you know, like diabetes, high or low blood pressure. It stabilizes your metabolism. It suppresses hunger. And there was another study done where they fed all these rat scraps from American restaurants, you know, which is going to be high saturated fats and sugars and, you know, all the bad stuff that Americans eat. They fed that to, like, I think it was 50 some rats, but they gave half of the rats yerba mate to drink, and that half, their cholesterol levels stayed fairly decent. They didn't get fat. You know, they were basically healthier than the ones that didn't drink yerba mate, the ones that just drank water. So if you're eating a crappy diet and you don't want to do anything else to improve your diet, drink yerba mate. It's going to help you out. It's going to clean you out. But that's not it. I mean, this stuff is light green. It's a green color. This is kind of a gold because I've added lemon and honey to it. It's typically green, which symbolizes the heart chakra. And that's perfect because what this stuff does is opens up your heart chakra. When you start consuming this on a regular basis, not only are you going to feel good physically and have a little mental clarity and more creativity and all that type of stuff, but it has some metaphysical effects. You'll start feeling more harmonized and in tune with nature, and not just nature, but other people. It's going to make you want to commune with your loved ones. It's a very social drink. It's super good for you, man. It's called the drink of the gods, and I'm starting to understand why. There's something special about this herb, guys. Get the yerba mate in you and thank me later. Alright, so I was hoping this video was going to be an upload of me moving one of these. Anybody know what that is? Probably everybody does. It's like the latest fad. That's the fidget spinner. And I have got some movement, but it's like micro movements. You know, one of those deals where you have to rewind the video and fast forward to see if it's moving. That's about how far I've gotten. You know, it takes like 2 seconds to make a video request, and it could take 2 months to fulfill it. But I have got some movement, which encourages me. I'm going to keep trying. Hopefully I'll get something worthy of uploading soon. But I just wanted to pop this video out there, not just for filler. This is an important video, guys. Get your drink on. Get you some yerba mate and drink it for 30 days. If you don't feel some physical, mental, spiritual benefits, I'll eat my hat. Okay? It's that good. Try it out. Yerba mate. Now, they sell this stuff in the store pre-made, but 99% of anything drink you buy in the store is going to be made with fluoride. And in case you haven't heard, fluoride's poison. So stay away from the store-bought stuff if possible. Make your own. Use organic, unsmoked yerba mate. Make it in a gourd. Make it in your shoe. Make it in a bucket. I don't care how you make it. Just make it properly and consume it. And you can thank me later. Alright, I guess that's it, guys. I'm going to get out of here and I'll pop you over to the tutorial on how to make Yerba Mate American style. Hello and welcome to my humble home. Alright, this video is pretty much self-explanatory if you just pay attention to what's going on, but I'll try to give you the play-by-play while I cram in some more information about this wonderful holly plant. You know, the holly plant is supposedly what they make wands out of, and there is something kind of magical about it, but I digress. Alright, so we fill our infuser about halfway to 2/3 full, and we put it in the dummy water, which there's nothing dumb about it. This is a very important part of the process, and you want to make sure it's room temperature water and let that herb expand and acclimate to being wet and being ready for the hot water to come. And my water of preference is oxygenated, restructured water, which is basically just water that's been run through an ozone machine and stirred into a vortex. And as Dr. Emoto has proven, just using intentions of love and gratitude will restructure the water. Okay, so we keep an eye on the tea kettle. When we see the little bubbles on the bottom begin to form and come to the top, we know it's about 170 degrees, and that's perfect for making yerba mate. As you can see, it's already taking on the light green tint, which it's more of a yellowish tint when you use leaves only, but when you get the other kind that has the stems and powder, it's more green. So we're going to add that and let it steep for about 7 minutes. And though I've already mentioned a lot of the wonderful pharmacological aspects of yerba mate, you know, all the minerals and vitamins and amino acids and polyphenols and all that great stuff that's going to help your body detox and regenerate, I want to talk a little bit about the metaphysical aspects of yerba mate. This stuff has subtle energy in it, guys. And trust me, I know. I use subtle energy, and I'm always looking for it. And it's in very few foods, and it's in no drink, aside from Ormus, that I've found. And that's what I think is great about yerba mate, and why I think it's important to the PK community to start drinking this stuff. You know, it has some really... It does have kind of a caffeine buzz to it, but it's different than the caffeine you're used to. It's not like a coffee or a pop. I think 8 ounces of yerba mate has 85 milligrams of caffeine, which is far less than coffee. And it won't hit you like a ton of bricks and crash and leave you jittery or anything like that. It's more like subtle energy. It gives you, mental clarity and creativity, and it doesn't make you lazy. It gives you inspiration to do things. It's a feel-good drink, and also has anti-aging properties and stuff. So get on this yerba mate. This is my 43rd gallon of it. I've been drinking this stuff all day and clear up till I go to bed, and I sleep just fine. It's great. And after you do your steeping, I always like to take the lid off and press the last little bit of that wonderful juice in there, get that last little bit of goodness out of there. And then we're going to top it off with a high quality water, and I like to sweeten mine with a little bit of honey. And honey has kind of a magical quality to it too. I've always been drawn to honey. And it also contains a little bit of subtle energy. One of the few foods, that one and grapes and carrots, I've noticed to have subtle energy in them too. I mean, all of it has a little bit, but there's some plants and that just have a noticeable amount of subtle energy, and I'm always attracted to those. But I'm just so happy that I found a drink, Terraday, I believe is what they call it when you drink it cold, that has subtle energy in it. So you can drink this with confidence and know that it's super good for your body. And if you use a little bit of the tips that I've shared here, your intentions and the restructured water and all that stuff, you can get even more out of this wonderful drink. All right, man, I appreciate you guys sticking around. If you watched all this, that means you maybe at least considering drinking some yerba mate, and that means a lot to me. And I wouldn't share this if I couldn't stand behind it. I can tell you that it's good for your body, and it's good for your mind, and it's good for your spirit. All right, I hope you give yerba mate a try, and I would love to hear your comments down below, and I appreciate you guys watching. It's Trebor7. Good day, God bless, and namaste.
Blah, blah, blah. You can just skip the introductions. Anybody who knows anything knows who I am. I am the only voice of reason you'll ever hear on this channel. My debunking videos is the only thing worth watching. This Trebor Savon. He's fruitier than that fruit basket you see right there. And look at that on the back of his head. What's that supposed to be, a man bun? Shoot. He ain't got enough hair to make a bun. That's more like a man mini muffin. And look at him. He's telling all these people yerba mate comes from Brazil. And oh, it's expensive. And shoot, you can buy it at Walmart for $2. This idiot. It's all about. He's trying to sell you a box of tea so he can get his 11 cents commission. That's what it's all about. And I'll tell you what, it makes him feel good. I'll tell you why. He's probably sneaking in some of that hippie stuff, hippie herbs or something. And then, oh yeah, I'm all hopped up on the hippie herbs, and yeah. And look at that stupid shirt he's wearing. Fluoride kills. What are you, stupid? Fluoride's good for your teeth, prevents cavities. Read a book. Listen to your dentist or something. This guy, I wouldn't trust him. If you're buying anything from him, you might as well just stick your money in a horse's butt and watch it gallop off into the sunset. I wouldn't trust this guy any further than I can throw him. And I wouldn't drink none of that hippie Yerba mate that paid me $100,000. That guy, I don't trust him. And I'll tell you what, last I heard, when he does all that magic woo 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 stuff, it's like voodoo in a glass. I wouldn't touch nothing this guy ever made. And don't do none of that water blessing stuff. That's devil worship. Just, gosh, I hate this channel. Sucks.